In the party's bar 10 years ago, Luffy tried out his new gum fruit abilities. Makino gave him an explanation of the nature of devil fruits, saying that no two are alike and that they earn their name because eating one is essentially making a deal with the devil. In exchange for receiving a magical power, the user is rejected by the sea and loses their swimming ability. As Luffy spoke to Shanks in the bar, other red hair pirates showed up and announced that they had prepared enough food for several months. When Luffy questioned Shanks about his upcoming expedition, Shanks replied that he would not be returning. In the present, Nami is trying to keep Luffy quiet so she can concentrate on opening Morgan's safe while he is having fun on the boat. At one point, she pushes Luffy, almost causing his straw hat to sail overboard. Luffy tells her not to worry about the hat because it is his most prized possession. Nami finally opens the safe and pulls the Grand Line map out. Nami creates a simple map of the world for Luffy because he has no idea where the Grand Line is or where everything else in the world is located. Despite her admission that she doesn't think the One Piece really exists, Luffy is unmoved in his quest to find it. The group is abruptly attacked by an oncoming ship, which fires rounds that cover them in a red gas. The trio passes out from the gas, but Luffy notices a Jolly Roger flying from the enemy ship first. Nami thinks that the Marines have taken Luffy, Zoro, and Nami hostage as they awaken inside a wooden container, but Luffy explains that it was pirates because he saw the Jolly Roger. The trio is subsequently left in the center of the Buggy Pirates circus show after the crate is removed. Regular people are effectively slaves when they attend the circus because they are tied to their seats and given cue cards to follow the artist's instructions. The crew's captain Buggy then enters, stating that he is also seeking the Grand Line's chart because he has ambitions to discover the One Piece and become the Pirate King. Buggy is sufficiently diverted by Nami's pressure on Luffy to accidentally expose his devil fruit power, allowing Buggy to escape the tent. She comes to a stop outdoors, shocked to see that the village they are in, Orange Village, has been completely destroyed by Buggy's men. Because of her hesitance, Buggy's men can catch up with her and drag her back inside. Buggy gives the order to take Zoro and Nami into the green room while he questions Luffy about the map. Garp and Bogart have arrived at the 153rd branch in Shell's town. Even though they were still able to use the map to locate the invaders, Morgan tells them what happened while falsely claiming that he was able to scare them away. Koby, who had just joined the Marines that morning, and Helmeppo are two of the Marines who are standing at attention. While praising Koby for rescuing Helmeppo, Morgan criticizes his son for being powerless to stop the pirates from fleeing. Koby is later asked to report to Morgan's office, where Garp and Bogart are working. Koby's membership in the Marines is questioned by Garp, who reveals that Koby was thought to be a mole because he had been seen with Luffy in the pub prior to the pirate invasion. Koby makes the decision to be honest, outlining how he was imprisoned by Alvida and freed by Luffy. He states that his goal is to join the Marine Corps and hunt down pirates like Luffy. Garp accepts this response but makes it plain that Koby will help him in this pursuit. Back in Orange Town, Nami is imprisoned in a birdcage while Zoro is fastened to a wheel. Zoro grudgingly decides to cooperate with Nami to escape because there are no other options, despite the fact that he does not trust her because of the past abandonment they experienced. Nami uses a lockpick to release herself. Later, Koby, a member of Buggy's crew, enters the space and identifies himself to Zoro, confessing that the swordsman killed his brother in order to collect the reward. Zoro has no memory of Koby or his sibling, which infuriates Koby more. As Zoro spins on the wheel, the pirate begins to play a game with him, hurling knives at him. Buggy has Luffy strapped to an apparatus that extends his arms and legs across the ring in the main part of the circus tent, but Luffy's rubber body has so far managed to render the apparatus useless as a torture tool. When Buggy discovers Luffy's straw hat and recognizes it as Shanks, he realizes that he and Shanks knew one another because they were in the same pirate crew when they were about Luffy's age. Buggy is perplexed as to why Luffy chose to become a pirate. Although they were formerly close, Buggy claims that Shanks deceived him. Buggy then asks Luffy if he was also betrayed, which Luffy vehemently denies. Buggy then makes the decision to remove a young kid from the audience and place him in the stretching machine, but Luffy manages to break free of his restraints. The crowd gasps in horror as Buggy is subsequently decapitated by a punch to the face. However, Buggy quickly shows that he is still alive since, like Luffy, he consumed the Chop Chop Devil Fruit, which gives him the ability to divide his body parts as he pleases. Buggy cuts off his hand and launches it behind Luffy's head, where it explodes a gas bomb and renders Luffy unconscious. When Aguma and his crew arrived 10 years earlier, they demanded to finally receive their drinks while Luffy was in the party's bar. When Luffy confronted Aguma about how Shanks was treated, the latter picked him up and began preparing to punish him. After their prior confrontation, Aguma and his bandits refused to take the pirate seriously when Shanks arrived and ordered them to release Luffy. But when a robber holding Shanks at gunpoint was shot by Lucky Roo, a fight broke out as Shanks, Roo, Ben Beckman, and Yasopp swiftly defeated the bandits. But in the middle of the mayhem, Aguma and Luffy managed to flee. He put Luffy on a rowboat and sent him out to sea to be killed, but as the boat was capsized by a huge sea king known as the Lord of the Coast that had emerged from the depths, it devoured Aguma and sank into the water, leaving Luffy unable to swim. The Lord of the Coast then surfaced and leapt at the rowboat, which Shanks and Luffy just about managed to avoid as Shanks arrived and dragged Luffy out of the ocean. The enormous beast then complied when Shanks urged it to leave him alone while glaring at the Lord of the Coast. Shanks' loss of his left arm as a result of the Lord of the Coast's onslaught caused Luffy to sob as he hugged Shanks. Shanks, though, was unconcerned about it and only cared that Luffy was secure. Luffy wakes up in the present within a glass tank that is steadily filling with seawater, making it difficult for him to even move. Even as the tank fills up and he is submerged in water, Buggy offers to let Luffy escape if the pirate swears devotion to him, but Luffy rejects the offer. In the green room, Koby has avoided striking Zoro with his knives so far, however one of his throws managed to free Zoro's wrist from a bandage. Due to Koby's unrelenting focus on Zoro, Nami is able to escape the cage and perform a surprise assault on him, which enables Zoro to tear Koby's hand free from the frayed rope and place him in a chokehold to knock him unconscious. Zoro's other hand is released by Nami, and the two reclaim their weapons before entering the show area and getting ready to deal with any clowns they encounter. When Zoro and Nami arrive at the stage, Nami smashes the glass of the tank, releasing Luffy from the tank. Buggy is able to grab the map that Luffy coughs out while clearing the seawater from his lungs because Luffy is preoccupied with getting his hat back. Buggy is attacked by Zoro, but his sword blows are ineffective against the clown's devil fruit ability. Buggy divides his entire body into little bits and hurls them violently around the tent, bombarding the group with blows. Buggy shifts his focus to Luffy and pins him to the ground by the neck with his hand while using his other hand to pierce through the straw hat, leaving Zoro and Nami to recover to the side. But Luffy notices some empty chests on the tent's edge and gets a thought. As soon as Zoro and Nami are made aware of his scheme, the group works to hit Buggy's various bodily parts into the chests, where Nami closes the lids to stop Buggy from putting himself back together. When Buggy is eventually reduced to having only his head, hands, and feet, Luffy stretches both of his arms back in preparation for his decisive blow. Buggy is launched out of the tent and off the island by the Gum Gum Bazooka blow. Regaining control of the map, Luffy, Zoro, and Nami get ready to leave, but not before working to free the residents of Orange Town from their bonds and assuring them that he is not bringing them under his dominion. The people of Orange Town bid the three a cordial farewell before the group later leaves. Luffy can recall their previous meeting. The pirate approached Luffy as he and his crew were getting ready to leave Windmill Village forever, and Luffy informed him that he had made the decision to stay and eventually create his own pirate gang, one that would one day exceed Shanks. In recognition of this choice, Shanks handed Luffy his straw hat and instructed him to return it when he had attained the required level of strength. Morgan is bound up in front of the 153rd branch as punishment for lying to them about what happened during Luffy's invasion while Garp addresses them in Shell's Town's clearing. Garp declares that the branch will start a direct manhunt for Straw Hat Luffy and assures the troops that the Marines' fight against pirates won't be hampered by their own corruption. Koby struggles with his conflicting loyalties when he hears Garp talk. Nami enters the cabin and takes out a unique little Den Den Mushi, which she inserts in her ear as Luffy, Zoro, and Nami sail toward the Grand Line. She calls a particular individual and requests that they inform someone else that she has obtained the Grand Line map.